Out of the Don Carlos series, this one, we just got to be honest as far as popularity, buzz. Some people would say hype, but hype is only hype if the hype is just hype. Richie. If the hype is real, hype turns into a fact that you didn't know. This is the Fuente Don Carlos, but this is the shark, the eye of the shark. This was generally given by, once again, the Lord of the Opus, Jeremy. So, thank you. Now, I might not be my particular funny self tonight, because Richie has feelings and I'm human too. It is what it is. A couple things going on. Someone that I knew for a long time, found out yesterday they passed. And it's back in New York, so I'm not able to pay my respects. And it's too late. It is what it is. Anyway, so I'm not going to try to. It's life, right? Smoke your best cigars. So, yes, Jeremy sent me this on New Year's. Right, I got it. I got all those Fuentes. And this will be the last of the box. Last of the Opuses, last of the Don Carlos, last of what Jeremy sent. Maybe I'm also sad about that. Jeremy, the Jeremy in you is the... No, hold on. Jeremy, the Jeremy in me is... Jeremy, you complete me. Shut up! You had me at hello. A full pack, although the cigar feels rather light. It's a Cameroon wrapper. The rest is going to be Dominican. Who knows exactly what the blend is. It's supposedly a regular Don Carlos, but not a regular Don Carlos. It's a slightly tweaked blend. Who knows if it's more... What? But at the end of the day, I'm going to just tell you right now, like, the Don Carlos Eye of the Shark is better than the regular Don Carlos. That I can say right off the bat, and it better be. And I've had this cigar many times. But the reason why it's in the, well, it was part of the collection. There were 6 of them. But it's great to review it now to see where it stands with the other 6. And, was it 6? Was it 6? Personal Reserver, 2017 edition. Prometheus, God of Fire, Don Carlos. Then that one has a caveat. Yeah. Don Carlos, and then the man. Okay? In that order. But the oddball of the line really was the Don Carlos Prometheus, God of Fire. That really shouldn't have been in the lineup. Change into an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, it doesn't feel like a Don Carlos, like at all. All the other 4 Don Carlos that I had, minus the Prometheus, that'd be 5, they were in a certain kind of feeling. Different range of darkness and strength, but it's a different kind of feeling. Like seeing a PG-13, R-rated, and a direct-to-cut version of the same movie, which we've all seen Die Hard 4. It wasn't bad, but Die Hard 4 wasn't great. Die Hard 4. Anyways, yeah, what's great about the Shark is the size. You got a gigantic cigar here, box pressed, so it does help it feel a little smaller, but it does feel like a 56 in the hand, even though it might be bigger than 56, but because of the box pressing, it helps condense it. But then you get a torpedo. Is this... Wow, this advertising band might be on there pretty good. And on the back we got CF Carlito Fuente. Not going to cut off too much. You know Fuente's going to have a great draw. And there we go. Sweet smelling. Let's see if does it smell like the other Fuentes. Very nice. Oh, I might sneeze. Sweet and spicy. On the foot smell, it's very nice, but it's not as pungent as, let's say, on the Personal Reserve. So let's get to this. We got a nice small match. Remember to take your time. Soft, gentle heat. I can't stress it enough. There's no rush. There's no rush. There's no rush. And there we go. No, there you go. So anyways, did you have a good day? Nobody cares. So that's the harsh reality of it, right? Off the bat, very easy draw. But it is pulling, though. It's not like it's a loose draw, but it's a very easy draw. You're getting a gigantic foot. Although it is being funneled to a smaller tip. At this point, that tip would be like about a 40, 48 where I cut it. Off the bat, naturally sweet. Off the bat, not super strong. Off the bat, not super spicy. Off the bat, not super heavy. But we just got the bat. Right there, went to medium plus. Right there, it was like I was literally at a campfire eating a beautiful s'mores with chocolate, graham cracker, and marshmallow. Put a little rock salt on it. Fancy like that. What a delicious blend. So it's like it takes the regular Don Carlos to another level. It's, off the bat, it's heavy and stronger now. And the regular Don Carlos off the bat. All right. Sweet, savory, spicy. How dark is it? Right now, about 70% the darkness. It's really nice. Right now, how strong is it? How strong is it? Medium strength? Right now, it's almost medium full. Almost. It's not. It's almost. The eyes are medium full. What a delicious cigar. Just right on the head. This kind of cigar is exactly what you'd want to have a cigar. Still comfortable, plenty of flavor, but delicious flavor. Nutty, caramel, creamy, black pepper, cinnamon. It's delicious. It's delicious. It's delicious. So right off the bat, this cigar is gonna beat the Prometheus. We already know we're beating the man. We already know we're beating regular Don Carlos. Even though Don Carlos is a great standard at that price point, you know. But it should beat it, right? It costs more money. Why is it better? It's a better cigar. Beating that, beating the Prometheus. So now this is I'm not tied. This is be at number 3. Pushing the Prometheus now to number 4. So number 1 is going to be still Personal Reserve. Right below it at a close second is the 2017 edition Don Carlos with the Opus tobacco. I'm not saying this is going to stay at 3. I'm saying off the bat, I know what cigars it's already beaten. Now it's competing with the top 2. And we'll see what happens. Now, you know my favorite size of a cigar is the Shark. But I'm not letting that decide this is just going to be number 1 because of the shape. No. My point was my favorite. So I'm not saying Sharks are my favorite cigar. I'm saying the size. I wish I could have a Cohiba Red Dot in this size. I wish I could have a Padron 26 in this size. I think it would be crazy. Yeah. A Shark is just it's a perfect size. It's gigantic, not too long, but it goes down to a small round Parejo. Yeah, it's nice. You want DVD? Shark on the bottom. It's got bonus feature. Just a perfect cigar, man. We all know this one cigar of the year, and it should have a couple years ago, 2017. Very delicious. Very delicious. Not as strong as the Personal Reserve. It's more delicious than spicy. It has some black pepper spice. So the first 2 are going to beat it in spiciness. But once again, we're in the first 1/8 of an inch. Ah! If you can only put the smoke back in my mouth. We're going to see. We're going to see. It's going to be close with the top 2, and I can't stress it enough. The Don Carlos Eye of the Shark. We know it's a world-class cigar. We know it's a king amongst kings of cigars, so, you know, it deserves its respect. The thing is now compare it to its own lineup. We know it beat the other 3. It beat the man. He beat the man. He did 5 years for beating the man. He beat the Don Carlos. He beat the Prometheus God of Fire. So at this point here, he beat a man, a Don, and a God, lowercase g. Now, can he beat the Personal Reserve? Can he beat a private collection? I'm going to come back. And I will say this, off the bat too, there's a little bit of floral notes that I'm getting on this cigar more than the other ones. But it's not bothering me. It's hitting me a little bit, you know, with it. But overall, the blend is very Don Carlos. But more potent, more beautiful Don Carlos than the regular Don Carlos. The Prometheus really wasn't a Don Carlos. And the man was a Don Carlos that, like, died. They should rename the man to the dead man. It's a great cigar that, in my opinion, was aged way too long, and it lost way too much of its strength. So, if you want to have, like, a 2017 Edition Anniversary, which was right there with, like, what I have to go back to the video, but that was right there. What was that, a 4.8, 4.9? What was it? It was right there. It was amazing. And then take that cigar and, like, make it as quiet as possible, and you got the man. The man it feels like a super aged, quiet version of the 2010, the number 2 cigar. And if you want that, then sure. I don't know why you'd buy a bullet and then take most of the powder out. I don't understand that. All right? Would you do that? Not a good idea. It's not going to cycle. So we're back. You might be asking, Richie, what happened? Why didn't you grow the ash? I did grow the ash. I was on the phone with my friend and for a while, and I decided just to put the ash down. I was on the phone, and yeah, I just did that. Richie's not happy Richie today. That's okay. Doesn't affect the cigar though. The cigar is delicious. The cigar is superb. If you like the regular Don Carlos and you want a stronger version, but not as strong as the Personal Reserve, you're going to love this cigar. The cigar is magical. It's delicious. It's everything you'd think it would be. I love the Don Carlos Shark, Eye of the Shark. It's a fantastic cigar. I remember the first time I had it, I was in New York City on my birthday. And I think I was walking through some park at nighttime. I was driving a limo, but I had a couple hours because the people went to dinner or whatever, and then a show, and I just brought a bunch of good cigars with me. It was delicious. This is a godlike cigar. After careful deliberation, nothing's changed. Number 1, Personal Reserve, is going to stay number 1. That is the best Don Carlos. Number 2, and it's almost it's a very close number 2. The Edition 2017, which there is the newer versions because they come out once a year, so you could get the 18 or 19, whatever. Those edition, what was it called? Anniversary Edition Don Carlos, which has the I think that actually has the Opus wrapper, but that one, that's a great number 2. This is going to be number 3. This one pushed the Prometheus down to the 4 spot. Don Carlos at 5, and the man at the bottom because it's just too quiet. And I'll say this though: the difference between 1 and 2 was closer than between 2 and 3. And I'm not knocking this cigar at all. It's a world-class, godlike cigar. And, that's the problem in a sense, comparing, such great cigars. How could you say the difference? Well, there's differences in profile, and the difference is just in greatness. The Personal Reserve is the best one. That is. I was just talking to my friend about it. I said that if somebody said right now, would I rather have a box of Personal Reserve or a box Don Carlos or a box of classic Opus X, and they're both 10-count boxes, I would take the Personal Reserve. I didn't say Personal Reserve is better than Opus X, but it's equal to regular Opus X. That being said, I didn't say Personal Reserve is better than like Opus X Oscuro, or better than the Destinos, better than Black Rain or Purple Rain, better than the Dubais. No, but that's how great the Personal Reserve is. So At best, the highest level Don Carlos, the personal reserve, is equal to Opus X. I'm not saying same blend, but that level. That's how great that cigar is. Number 2, and almost right behind it, and you'll love it probably the same, would be that edition 2017, and now I'm sure there's 18 or maybe 19. I don't know if they're releasing the year that they say, or I don't know if they released the year they were made and they were aged for 3 years, so I don't know. This is the Opus X Shark, the Eye of the Shark. Oh, stop, scratch that. This is the Don Carlos Eye of the Shark. It's going to be number 3 on the list. Personal Reserve, edition 2017 Don Carlos. So you can replace that with the newer ones too, 18, 19. Eye of the Shark, Don Carlos. Prometheus, God of Fire, Don Carlos. Don Carlos Classic. And number 6 would be the Man. In that lineup, that's my order. I don't know if there's more Don Carloses. I don't think so, and I could be wrong. But those are the ones I was given to me, and that's the order. I put a lot of work into this. It wasn't just reviewing individual cigar and then like an afterthought. Like, this was consecutive work to compare those 6. And there were differences. The biggest weird one was that God of Fire with that different wrapper. But there is a God of Fire, same cigar, but with a Cameroon wrapper called the Carlito. I think that would be the one to go for. I don't have that one. So, where would this cigar be? 4.8? 4.8? It's a ridiculous cigar. But by no means, though, this cigar can't touch 1 and 2. The 1 and 2 were superior. The 1 and 2 on my list, the Personal Reserve and the Edition Anniversary 2017, those 2 are superior to the rest of the list, period. The 3, the Shark, Eye of the Shark is the number 3. But there's a bigger gap between 2 and 3. But clearly with any of the Don Carloses, you're going to have a great time. If you're zooming out, the whole series is great. But if you're zooming in, there's some differences, and there's some differences. I'm not saying like BBW differences, but BW. I don't know. We're done here. Intensive for camping, soft, gentle heat. Make sure you hydrate, eat your prunes, get your sleep, limit your alcohol. There's no cigars in prison. Cigars are cheap, and lawyers are expensive. I wish you well. God bless you. Have a great night. And the Richie and me. It's the Richie and you. And the finish on this in the last third is just beautiful. So yeah, choose any of them, but now you have your Richie recommended list of Don Carlos in the order they're in. I'll see you around.